Good morning, students. Yesterday we have discussed about the literary sources, and I have also told you all that literary sources are further classified into the official as well as in the indigenous. Today we will discuss about the official records. So here, official records. Top priority among literary sources is given to official records, which are the papers of government agencies at different level. In the literary sources, the most important are the official records, and these official records were the papers of the different government agencies of the different levels. The British felt that all the important documents and letters needed to be carefully preserved. Therefore, they set up record rooms with all administrative institutions, starting from the Tehsildar offices up to the provincial secretariat. Now, when British controlled over India and they started to administer it or govern it, they felt that all the important documents and letters should be preserved carefully or should be kept carefully. For this purpose, in all the administrative institutions, means in all the offices, they have constructed the record rooms. In the record room, all these important documents and letters were preserved, and record rooms were established from the lower level to the higher level. Lower level from the Tehsildar office and higher level to the provincial secretariat. Specialized institutions like archives and museums were established to preserve important records. And beside that, they also made the museums and archives, and in these museums and archives, special records, letters, etc. were preserved. The records made by the East India Company give an elaborate account of trading and economic conditions during this period. So the records which were prepared by the East India Company, as we are knowing that East India Company was the company which was operated by the British. Actually, we can say that all the four colonial rules who came to India, Dutch, French, Portuguese and the British, they all came here first for the trading purpose, and all their company name was East India Company. Yes, all. Either that was the Portuguese one, either that was one of the French one or the Dutch one. All their companies were known as the East India Company. Why were they known as the East India Company? Because from the European countries they came to India, and India was located in the eastern side of their country. That's why they named their country as the East India Company. But here this East India Company, this is mainly related to the British. So all the records which were made by the British are made by the East India Company, that was giving us a lot of information regarding the trade activities as well as the economic condition of that time. The official records cover all levels of administration from the district to the supreme government, and these official records were of the lower level as well as of the higher level. See, means in the district level the paperwork which were done, as well as the at the supreme level or at the higher level of the government the paperwork which were done, that all were preserved. The British had carried out large number of surveys during their control and administration of Indian territories. When Britishers were governing India, they made a lot of surveys. Why they made surveys? Downside given. They carried out surveys on topography, flora, fauna, local histories, forest, archaeology, etc. And these surveys which were made by the British, they were on the topography. Topography means land features. Either that is the plain, that is the plateau, that is the mountain or the desert or the island group. Beside that, flora and fauna. Knowing about the flora and fauna, flora means plants, fauna means animals. Local histories means who were the local ruler, who was having more wealth, who was having more property. Beside that, forest as well as the archaeology. They even conducted census operations to understand the demographic pattern. They also made a lot of surveys to understand the demographic pattern. Demographic pattern means pattern of the population of that area. Yes, demographic pattern means the population of any area, means how population is in the following area, or we can say that how population is distributed within that area. They studied the geographical state, and this helped them bring in railways as well as explore and exploit the mineral wealth of India. They studied the geographic pattern of that area or geographical pattern of the India, and with the help of this geographical pattern, means with the help of the land, they came to know, or we can say that it was the geographical survey which was made by the British which helped them to bring the railways into the India, as well as it also helped them to exploit or to use the mineral wealth of the India. Now see something important given. The first proper census was carried out in India in 1881. So if anyone will ask you then when was first proper census was carried within India, so that was carried in 1881. It had 3 volumes, means the census, the first proper census which was carried, that was carried in the 3 stages. The first volume was a general report. In the first volume, general report was there. Second volume, 33 tables of the data collected, and the third volume had the tables and extracts from the presidency level reports. So in the second one, the data which was collected, that was full of the 33 tables, means we can say that data was so much that for keeping that all data 33 tables were required. And in the third one, there was the extract, means we can say the summed up report or the summary report of the presidency level of the government. During the census, aspects of caste, religion and occupation were also collected. And when they were making census, at that time, they also explore, or they also came to know how many castes are there, which religions, as well as what is the occupation of the people. The records of the Portuguese, Dutch and French companies, who also had small colonies in different parts of India, are also useful for constructing the history of the 17th and 18th centuries. We can't say that in the literary sources only the records which were made by the British are important. The records which were made by the Portuguese, Dutch and the French, and as we are knowing, these all 3 European powers controlled very smaller portions of the India. So the census or the surveys or the administrative record which were made by these 3, that are also very helpful for us to construct or to know the history of the 17th and the 18th centuries. By reading this material, one can trace every important development stage by stage. And if anyone will read these documents, so we can see that which type of developments were made within India at every level.